So I wanted to talk to you about this. There was a story in the BBC that I read out. I did a video on it a couple of weeks ago, and it was about obviously the Fed are 16 trillion they've printed now on your country, your Fed, 16
Yep.
trillion in that's trillion in 8 months. Trillion. Can't
Yep.
have
Yeah.
healthcare. Can't end homelessness. 16 trillion in 8 months. And this, there was this story in the BBC of this pizza uh, parlor over in America, who was getting complaints from people because the pizza that got delivered was either cold or was the wrong order, and this confused him a lot because his company, his pizzeria, had never delivered at all. They were eating only. And it turned out after some investigation that the pizzas were getting ordered and delivered via an app called DoorDash. I don't know whether you've heard of it over there. It's called
Yeah, yeah, I've
DoorDash.
heard of it. I've never used it,
And
but I've
the so the pizza, anyway, they did some investigation. It turns out that this app was buying pizzas from this guy's restaurant for $24, but was selling it to the end user for 18. They were selling these pizzas at a loss. And the owner told his mate, and his mate went, "Hold on a minute. Well, order some pizzas then, because you're paying 180, you're paying 180, and they're giving you 240. You're making, if you order 10 pizzas." So he did it, and lo and behold, he got the $240, and then he placed an order and never delivered the pizzas to himself and got the full 240. And eventually, this they got found out, and it turns out that this DoorDash was owned by one of these venture capital firms, and they'd got investment from this company called SoftBank, and they asked SoftBank, why is this app, delivering pizzas for $6 less than they'd bought them for? And they said it was some marketing thing, and they were just doing some testing. But it was in the BBC, so I was like, why is it in there? And it turns out the chief executive of SoftBank, when he was prodded on this, first of all said, "I'm Jesus." He proclaimed he's Jesus. And then I started thinking, hold on a minute, I've seen Goodfellas. I've seen the scene where Paulie ends up owning the guy's restaurant, the guy's bar, and they're buying cases of scotch, and it's going in the back door for $20 a bottle and selling it in the front for $10 a bottle, and it's like he doesn't care, it's all profit. And I think the similar thing is going on here, because you know what? SoftBank, it turns out, have also, I found out, it was today, it was in the news, this SoftBank, who I think have had a shitload of money off the Fed, mate. Well, they are behind this Wirecard, this online Wirecard thing that's gone, that's had $2.1 billion gone missing, just go missing over the last 24 hours, and people couldn't use their credit cards. Um, we were talking about the United States being the mafia.
yeah.
They really are, they're not
Well, here's
making
a
it difficult for me to make my case, are they?
right. Well, here's another piece to that is probably, and this is my first time hearing about this, but based on everything you're saying, like here's another thing that's likely a connection. So the way Wall Street works is, Wall Street and all these firms that comprise Wall Street, which is just a handful of firms, and they own pretty much everything. They have corporations. They own corporations, and that's a portfolio of their assets. That's essentially how Wall Street works. And the goal of their entities, the goal of these corporations is basically billion or bust. They want the next Facebook, or they want nothing at all. They want the next Amazon, or they want nothing at all. Because when you're looking at a portfolio of assets, if you got a Facebook or an Amazon, you're good. You're good. So what is likely happening is that they really want to have the next especially in this pandemic, if you can monopolize the market, and the goal is always a monopoly, that's always the Wall Street goal, get a monopoly. So if you can monopolize the market of food delivery apps, if you can monopolize that where you're the only go-to and you're the only way people are getting food delivered, well, then you got the next, billion-dollar idea. And how do you eventually monopolize something? Well, the way Amazon worked, they worked at a loss for a while. They worked at a loss for a while until they had so many customers that they could just gobble up everything else.
Ah.
So that's likely what's going on here. They want to monopolize food delivery, so they're going to sell food at a loss, and they're just going to like
Ah.
offer cheaper food so everyone uses it. And then once they take over the market, well, then, they got the $1 billion they want.
Yeah, it's worrying if that's the case then, because we're just going to have one place to go for it. Mind you, we've got all that already with Amazon. I keep saying Amazon's a wonderful company. It'll be even better it'll be even better when the people own it. That's what
That'd
I
be
keep
fine.
saying.
Yeah.